Hello, and welcome to the C3 podcast, Code Conscious Conversations. I'm Dr. Lisa Piper here with Wendy Cohn-Osborne. We are the founders of Code Health. Today, we are honored to spend time with someone who has been part of the biohacking movement for decades, Jean Fallacara, CEO of Biohackers magazine, and with the 32nd issue out this month, and founder and leader of the Life-Spanning Revolution. Basically, you are the ultimate expert in optimal health and wellness, and we are looking forward to having a code-conscious conversation with you. Welcome, Jean.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to be with you. We've been communicating before, and I'm so glad to have you face-to-face like that and to share some insights, story together. I'm not an expert because no one is an expert in this world. I have a bit of knowledge that I'd like to spread around and give to others.
Yes, I love that you're a neuroscientist. And as I was doing a little research on you, I learned that you earned a distinction of academic excellence and biotech engineering honors, and you went to MIT, and you have a brilliant IQ. I mean, my goodness, 167, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome on paper. I don't think that it is that awesome in your head, especially when you're a kid. Some things that was leading me to problem and miscommunication that giving me any leads when I was younger. Even going to school was problematic because I was bored so fast with people and with courses that I had to study as an outsider and by myself. And I went from degrees to degrees, it's true. And I'm still not finished. I think 1 or 2 PhD could be a good thing to add to the portfolio.
I'm a lifelong student as well. I just love studying and I love school. Yeah.
I hate school, but I love studying.
Hilarious. So I am also in awe of your entrepreneurial background. And I want to mention to all of you that don't know a little bit about Jean. You were recognized as one of the most disruptive entrepreneurs of 2023. Mm-hmm. You were one of the leading global business influencers in 2022, and in 2021, one of the top entrepreneurs to follow, and the list goes on and on. So with all of these accomplishments, what is the best advice that you would give to a new entrepreneur, or just like Lisa and me, the Code Girls? Here we are new entrepreneurs, navigating our way through this world together and starting off our business. So what would be the best advice you could give to us?
The difference between entrepreneurs that are successful and entrepreneurs that are not is one parameter: resilience. That's it. That's all. If you believe in what you're doing, you have to go all the way. You have to be ready to kind of suffer, make the sacrifices, and keep going. And above everything, don't listen to anybody. Just to your gut and your dream. Sometimes you can be wrong. You're going to learn, and that's fine. You're going to start again. When I started my first company, I was a big dreamer, and I spent my own money investing in that thing, and the company went bankrupt. It was a disaster for me. But I recovered, started another company, and I sold it. But I would say that even without legs or with your arm, it doesn't matter. As long as you have a brain, you can be functional.
Yes. And now, especially with our brains, we have this ability and so many amazing modalities and opportunities to optimize our brains. Mm-hmm. So we feel very fortunate.
In a great time today where we can actually understand a bit better than what is happening in our brain. In perspective, but neuroscience is not an old science. It's like, 20 years, 15 years, but the last 10 years have been like exponentially bringing information and news. And today, like every day is a new day in this science. We understand better. We start grabbing some concept that were so far away from anything. Remember, we were doing lobotomy and things like that on the brain before. We start to understand what is conscience, and we start to understand what is PTSD. We understood what is Alzheimer, but we don't understand how to treat it yet. But it's coming up, and modalities are involved into that. So we live in a great world about biohacking and modalities. Yes, I think that what is the setback of our society today is the fact that so many people rely on the magic pill. There is a big chunk of work that you have to do on yourself before you can start using modalities and taking pills and supplements and whatever. It doesn't start like if you have a shitty life and you eat crap and you drink alcohol and you don't go outside and you don't sleep and you don't exercise and you don't meditate and you're not nice with the people around you, not even social. Don't even try taking any supplement. Don't even try using modalities. That's just a waste of time. That 90% is built by natural behaviors.
Can you explain the concept of lifespanning? I know you're on a mission and it's all about longevity and bringing this to the mainstream. Can you expand on that?
I'm a biohacker. I've been a biohacker for over 24 years. At the beginning with Dave Asprey and Ben Greenfield and these guys that were in the process of getting recognized as biohackers. But I've always felt deep inside of me, even if I'm a successful entrepreneur, as some say, I've also always felt that first, as a scientist, I can guarantee you that biohacking doesn't exist. You cannot hack your biology. It's impossible. You cannot hack a cell. You can improve the process, but you cannot hack it. We're not computers. And second, the biohacking movement as it was, it's a cult, a small circle where people almost drink the same Kool-Aid together, don't want to share their secret because, of course, they've been rejected by the scientific community and so on. It was like too elitist and too exclusive for the rich people on this planet. It's not that I'm a Robin Hood or either a communist or I'm a capitalist, but I think that there is 8 billion people on this planet or close to be, and 8 billion people deserve the right to live longer because you made money that you have the best choices to live longer. So when I looked at the whole movement and I said, like, how can we bring to the public some things that make lifespan and health span understood enough without the concept of the biohacking, because biohacking is just the science behind the progression of optimizing life. How can we get some things out there that express what I'm trying to express myself and to extend it as a dream word? So I came up with this word I invented this word, but it's lifespanning. And for me, it was just like, okay, lifespan, the whole concept of that lifespanning. And we checked it out and it was not even in the dictionary for some reason. So trademarked it, putting all the efforts to have it recognized and as a word in the dictionary. And lifespanning, the principle is very simple, is having every single element from the nature oriented to your health, making people understand that we are part of this planet, not only as human, but as energy and frequencies, and I'm part of the universe in that holistic. I'm more into the oneness approach. So we are part of this universe, and our contribution has an impact on every single person out there. We can live 80, 100, 200, I don't care, but as long as we live with purpose and we make it appropriate enough to have an impact, no legacy, I don't care about that, no, at all, an impact. And then 3, 4, 5, 10 generations from where we are today will have that as part of their education, not like remembering lifespanning or remembering my name. I don't care, but they will, as part of their living, have started to wake up, drink water, go outside, take a walk, sleep well, eat well, exercise, because those basic are the foundation of our longevity. And there is no shortcut, no magic pill that can solve that problem. So my goal is simple. In a word, it's education. That's it.
I saw that you have a new life hacks series on Instagram, and I saw a post that you did, and I loved it. I actually wrote a little brick dissertation back, and it was so simple, yet it had so many benefits. And it was, you wake up in the morning, you drink a glass of warm water with lemon and Celtic salt, and you know, there are so many shiny things out there. Lisa always uses that term, shiny things.
Yeah.
But I love the direction that you are going back to those simple, basic changes, because we have everything that we need, and our bodies have the innate wisdom to heal itself. So when I read that, it reminded me, and that was my response, my great-grandmother lived well into her 90s, and every evening she drank a glass of, or instead of tea, she had warm water and lemon.
Yeah. All the small benefit, like taking, like first thing you do when you wake up after drinking your water, stretching a bit and putting your face into the lights outside. Like, I'm not telling you, okay, you live in a region where the sun is not the sun I have in Miami, but it doesn't matter. The difference between the number of lux that you get when you are stepping out of your door or window or balcony or whatsoever compared to the light you have inside your house, even if you were using biohacking lamp, it's ridiculously low. So take 10 minutes of your time, and don't tell me you don't have 10 minutes in your life. So many people wake up, don't even drink water, but just like jump on their phone right away. That cortisol is a killer. It is creating all cancers and everything. And don't go outside. They go like in their car straight to the office if they go to an office, or they stay in bed or whatsoever. This is what I want to change. I want to change the behaviors of people, because our body, as it is, without hacking any cell, is designed to live 230. We live to 78, 80. We have a serious problem there. Lifespan in the US is not even increasing, it's going backward. This is even more critical. Yeah. To go back to the post, it's interesting because I looked back at that post that I recorded, and then but then as a neuroscientist, I can tell you, like, your brain shrinks 60%.
The hydration of it. I'm guilty myself, because I try and really honor myself in the morning. Lisa is so good at that. Lisa has a full ritual. She's very regimented. She honors herself. She honors her body. And I'm trying really hard to do that. And I find myself many times, you know, I get out of bed and I'm already, you know, on your phone, you know, right there on my phone.
Why you do that? Why?
There's no reason why I should be doing it. But since your post every morning, I have been, instead of going and getting my, you know, cappuccino ready, which I love. I love the smell. I love the process of it. I love everything about it. But I really have been having my glass of warm water with my lemon, and I have the Celtic salt there. And so thank you. Thank you for
my pleasure.
allowing me to incorporate that into my life. And I really do try and stay off of the phone. And now I'm going to take it outside. And
first, not in your bedroom. That would be the first step. You know, here's the thing. my life and they say, oh, but your life is just like, it's perfect because you do this, this, and this. I'm not asking anyone on this planet to follow exactly what I'm doing, because it took 20-something years to get there. And I do remember having my phone close to my bed. I do remember waking up at 5 and opening my phone right away, getting that level of stress. I do remember waking up and drinking a double espresso right away without having the notion that I'm not going to sleep well because I'm just like not allowing melatonin to be built up and all these things in the brain. You have to delay your caffeine as well. This is the beauty of life. This is the beauty of living. We are not perfect, but the thing that we can control is our life. We don't control time for sure. That is impossible. And that is the referential on how long we will live. But we control our life and we control the impact on our biology. So if we know that, and we know another thing, we know that if I'm asking you to wake up in the morning, drink water and lemon and salt, and then go outside, and then go for a walk, and then delay your caffeine, and then do some meditation, and then infrared therapy, and then blah, 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 you're going to be, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. But if I tell you, you know what? Put your phone away from your bedroom, and maybe away enough that the first step of your wake-up process is getting to water, you're going to delay the opening of your phone. You already made it once. You made the small increment, the 1%. And if you do that, one thing like that every day for 10 days, 15 days, you'll see the difference. And if you'll see the difference, you're going to notice it in your behavior, in your skin, in your appearance, in your stress level. Your reward system will work differently than like if you don't. And then you're going to be slowly but surely so hooked to that lifestyle that you're going to start chasing more and more and more and more. And it's an easy process to get hooked on that thing.
Now, as a yoga teacher, one of the things that I always say is you have to meet yourself where you're at, and you have to have compassion for yourself.
Right.
And even Wendy talks about all the time, just small incremental changes to help get you to that next level. So do this today, do that tomorrow, and each day just be better than you were the day before. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, you are what you really wanted to be. And in the yogic tradition, they tell yogis say that the average life should be 140. You said 130, whatever, this or that. Years.
Plus minus from 120 to 140, we're there. Yeah.
And it's, for me, it's not even about living a long time or forever, but it is about being healthy while I am here. I just want to optimize my health every day. So the only way to do that is become devoted and disciplined. And even this morning, I woke up, I didn't want to exercise, but I knew that if I didn't exercise, that I would feel lazy, that I would regret it, that the inner dialogue that I would have in my head would be worse than not doing the exercise. So I sucked it up and I did the exercise. And then I was happy that I got over myself, because inside the head, as you are rewiring your brain and teaching yourself new healthy habits, like, you're going to have that other voice that used to be your habit come in and make you lazy and say, I don't need that water this morning. This is, I deserve that. You can justify anything, but then you're going to have the same old outcome that you always had. And if you want to be better than you were, then you have to do something that you've never done. And so I love that you're saying the same things.
Yeah. Thanks God we have a conscience.
Yeah.
So we can realize when we do things that are not appropriate, that they're not good for us. Exercising, you don't need to struggle by exercising. You need to enjoy it. I'm a big fan of flow states, because when you go through the flow state on everything you do, it's so easy. It doesn't require any efforts. But when you force yourself, the struggle is there, and it's a hard thing to do. And I agree that it's not enjoyable. So maybe the goal is like to be on flow state the whole day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the key is really finding things that you enjoy doing that ultimately will give you positive outcomes, whatever it is. And even with work, if you enjoy the work that you're doing and you're passionate about the work that you're doing, it's hard and it's difficult, but when you enjoy it, it just helps it along the way. It makes it easier. And with exercise, Lisa has a different way of exercising than I do. I love the social aspect of group fitness. I find
You mean talking and
I do. You sound like my husband. You sound like my husband.
Yes.
He thinks, my group fitness is all about, it's funny. I love Zumba. It's one of the things that I love to do. And he thinks all we do, and I know that people can't see what we're doing, is he jokes about it. And he says, we just dance and jump around and then we go, woo, woo, we hold our hands up. That's it. But what it really is with group fitness, and I started doing a class, I've been doing it now for about 6 months, and learning the importance of building muscle strength and how important it is, especially as we get older. Lisa and I are both in our 50s and we want to be as healthy as we can be. And there's a class that I take and it's called Body Pump. And the reason why I'm talking about this is, for me, it's the combination of the music and being with a group of people and looking around, and you almost hold yourself accountable because there are other people in that classroom that are older or not as in good of shape or whatever compared to you. And I make that comparison and I think to myself, wow, Wendy, if they're doing it, you can finish this set. And for me, that's what's, that makes me thrive. That's important to me. Where some people like Lisa, she likes doing her exercise on her own.
Yeah, I'm a bit like you, Lisa, too. But I do understand the concept of your way of exercising. And first of all, it's great for longevity at large. Like, you have many factors. You have music, you have flow, you have movement, and you have socialization. So you're checking a couple of marks there that are great for living longer and better, and then building muscle, like you said. Yeah, but yoga, I think, Lisa, is because it requires more to be centered. I always make a parallel between yoga and meditation. And the sport I do is also linked to being centered and in flow state. So the only things I hope that you guys don't do is having your phone close to you when you go to workout, because that is the waste of...
Oh, yeah. No, that goes away. The phone goes away. But I'll tell you, I go into the gym and there are just, so many people that are using their machines, and everybody is on their phone in between the sets, whether they're texting with someone or they're taking videos
Selfies.
of themselves or selfies.
Yeah, selfie.
It's amazing.
It's a waste, and it's a waste because there is no results on that. It's just like, and first they could maybe reduce the time of their workout and do 20 minutes dedicated to, instead of doing an hour, at least 45 minutes on their phone. It's a problem everywhere. I see that in every single gym. Once again, it's education that is lacking there.
As all of this lifespanning and biohacking and all of these communities grow, I mean, it's expected to be like a 30-something billion business here in the next less than 10 years.
Right.
What do you think that we're going to see as the biggest trends?
Well, I think that the biggest trend will be to use probably we call them biohack, but we have to look at them as they are. Like today we say sauna, cold plunge are biohack. Give me a break, okay? It's been used for years and years and years, and no one called himself a biohacker because he was doing a cold plunge or...
It was hydrotherapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hot or cold, it was hydrotherapy.
Yeah, that's it. So those things are coming back fast, which I do like. Probably we're going to see some sort of regulation around the supplement industry. That is an industry that has exploded in the last 10 years. And as one of my mentor in terms of education, unfortunately, I didn't meet with him, but Einstein said, sooner or later, we're going to heal people using energy and frequencies, which I do love. I do agree on that. We haven't understood yet that we are energy, that we have those frequencies in our body and outside of our body and our aura and everything. You know, funny story, but when those guys from France got Nobel Prize for quantum energy, I was so obsessed. I went back to all the studies Albert Einstein did on quantum. And after all the studies he made, he ended up by saying, humans are not ready yet to understand it. And they have a Nobel Prize, and we are still not ready yet to understand the whole concept of that. But we are seeing some light in the tunnel. We are seeing some improvement, some mechanism that are not yet understood, not yet explained. Unfortunately, the way that science is today, it's going to take a clash and a shift and then a recognition. But those are the trends I see in the future. It's not going to stop because, matter of fact, I think that 110 million people by 2030 will be over 50 in the US, over 65, and 40% of the population in the United States in 2030 will be over 50. 40%. 40% of these people will definitely want to live more than 25 years or 30 years more than where they are. That is definite. We are going to see more and more people willing to put the effort there, trying to understand that living longer is not that difficult, but it has to be implemented. It's never too late to start. But my dream is more like, okay, we're solving a problem, but why don't we try to solve the problem of next generation and educate kids how to breathe, how to meditate, how to walk, how to look at the sunrise, how to enjoy life as it is, how to eat clean and healthy, how to exercise. If we do that job, like our society has been a mess, honestly. I'm disappointed by what we've done as a society, putting people 8 hours in offices with no lights in front of blue light emission, asking them to produce work and to be productive enough when literally it's not compatible with any brains on this planet. So why there is so much nonsense on what we've done? And then why are we poisoning our fellows or like people living on this planet? We're giving them food that were processed, adding sugar, fructose, while we know that we're going to kill them in a way or the other. Let's start the revolution and change that pattern with the kids. And thanks God, the generation after millennium are so aware. They are so open to these things because they realize now that there is a problem. So I'm dreaming that this future generation and the kids and the kid that maybe are like 4 or 5 years old now will be the leader of this movement in the future.
One of the things that I feel really strongly about is being intentional. And everything that you just said really starts with being intentional. And for young women that are out there and young men that are out there, being intentional with the partner that you choose for your life, that's where family comes in. And that's where you create the foundation. Then when you have that perfect partner that balances you and is, has strengths where you're weak, and you fully complement each other, and you have the same vision for the future, then you can be intentional with how you bring kids into the world. Whereas my parents, my generation, I was baby oops. They didn't plan for me. I just showed up 9 months later and came in quite aggressively as an Aries. But, but had things been a little bit more intentional, my upbringing would have been a little bit different. I may not have had, divorce was very common. And, when you start breaking down those bonds in family, things get lost in translation, and we have to come back to being intentional and getting through life and solving problems together and living consciously with what we put in our body and how we manage our mind. Then that consciousness or that awareness or that intentionality brings us back to nature, because we are that,
we are part of,
we are that.
Of the nature.
Yeah. We're an organism just like every other organism. So I love everything you're saying. You speak my language.
Thank you. If you want to improve yourself, you have to love yourself. And before being even ready to share your life and have kids, you really have to be aware of who you are. And then you'll be able to stick for the rest of your life. Why people are divorcing, it's because they try, and when it doesn't work, they make kids to try to get some cement in the process of being together, and then it falls apart, and then kids of divorce are like against what is happening with families and things like that. But going backward, I would definitely ask people to make a certain portion of their life trying to explore who they are. And it's not that difficult, but I said that I was speaking this weekend, and I said that to the audience, a very simple thing. Can you imagine that 90% of the population is not capable of sitting with themselves for more than 5 minutes? And on the 10% remaining, 97% cannot stand more than 12 minutes. I'm spending 2 hours every day with myself. That's part of my protocol of knowing me, of knowing my thought, of understanding this world and understanding the concept of thoughts and feelings that can come from others. Not you, not being selfish or egocentric. When you are with yourself, you are so open that you understand why some people can say things, act, or do, and it can be against you, it can be for you, it can be with you, whatsoever, but you just have the time to put the thing in perspective. And this is the big difference. If everyone on this planet was taking enough time to put things in perspective, and sometimes change the referential, because it's all question of referential, like change your shoes, take the shoes of your friend, enemy, boyfriend, girlfriend, relative, boss, whatever, and put those shoes on. Life is different. Perspective is different. Everything is different. Understand that, you'll understand yourself. You'll react differently. And if you react differently, you're more open to create something better. Not that difficult.
No. So well said. So well said. And, our podcast is called Code conscious conversations. And I just want to thank you from both Lisa and me for having this incredible conscious conversation. It was such an honor and such a pleasure for having you be our guest. You're truly an inspiration, and we look forward to this being the first of many conversations that we'll have together.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you, and it was very a pleasure to go deep into some topics. Like when you told me what kind of question would you like to have, this is the answer why I didn't want to have any question in advance. I love this type of discussion. It shows the human face of these two women that are in front of me and doing a great job. Keep doing it.
We're all in it together. We all have our mission of, making the world a better place.
Absolutely. We're going to make it.
We are. Thank you. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the C3 podcast. Find past episodes and subscribe on our website, codehealthshop.com, or Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
The Code Girls appreciate discussing conscious living with inspiring guests who make a difference.
Remember, conscious living starts with conscious conversations. Until next time, be intentional, stay inspired, practice gratitude, be well, and feel the drop.